Hello and welcome to Touristy Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. It's the beginning of a weekend full of actions from Europe, Africa, everywhere. Football action, other sports, sporting action as well. Even in Africa, where the African Under-18 Handball Championship is ongoing. And for the Nigerian female Under-18 team in the handball competition going on in Monastir, Tunisia, precisely, has been a fantastic one for our girls. And it's a good thing that today they will be facing another North African side, that is the Egyptians, in the semi-final after they picked the ticket after beating Morocco in the quarter-final to pick the ticket for the Under-18 Handball World Championship that will be happening later. And now they will be facing another North African in the semi-final. By 4 p.m. that game will be good. That game will be happening live and direct all the way from Tunisia. But the coach, Agbola, has said they were going to feed on the Egyptians' weaknesses, where they notice they are weak, and that is where they are going to concentrate on to hit the girls hard and get the maximum victory and get to the final and probably lift the trophy. That game will be coming out at 4 p.m. Nigerian time today in Tunisia, and it's a good one. There has been a fantastic journey for this team since the beginning of this competition. They won their first game, lost their second game to Guinea, and they were able to beat Morocco, and now they are playing another North African side that is on the bounce, playing three. They beat the host, they beat Morocco, and now they are playing the third North African team in the championship, and it's a good one. Already they've gotten the qualification ticket to the Under-18 Handball World Championship by virtue of beating Morocco in the quarterfinals, and now they'll be playing the Egyptians in the semi-final, hoping to get to the final and pick the gold medal. Let's not forget that this team just of recent won the IHF Trophy competition that happened a few weeks ago, and now they are gunning for another medal right there in Tunisia. It's a wonderful one. It's been a fantastic job from Coach Agbola coaching these girls and after how many years we've not been to this championship. The last time we participated in the African Under-18 Handball Championship was how many decades ago. The last time was in 1992. So you can look at the number of years when last we participated in this competition, and for now we're back, and not just back alone, doing well and getting the world the world championship ticket, which is a very good one. And Sam Ocheho, the president of that federation, has been in cloud nine, very happy to see that ever since he came on board into the Handball Federation as the president of that federation, it has been fantastic for handball in Nigeria. If you go to the National Sports Festival, the National Youth Games, and you see handball competition, you see the young lads, and the Handball League that is yearly being organized yearly. It's going on fantastic. Get teams the likes of Kwara Falcons, Winner Babes, Safety Shooters, a lot, and we normally have two phases in the league. Phase one usually happen in Abuja, and then the phase two, which is the final phase, happens in Lagos. So it's a good one for the Handball Federation of Nigeria. Congratulations to our Under-18 girls and the coach Agbola for doing a very fantastic job with this team. Getting the World Cup qualification ticket alone is a very big achievement, and now they are setting their sights on lifting the trophy right there in Tunisia. Okay, let's leave the story of handball and head straight to CAF, to FIFA, I beg your pardon, where the top 10 teams in Africa have emerged, and eventually Nigeria has dropped out of the top 5 teams in Africa. Africa. They are now ranked 6th in Africa and then 4th in the world, and which is not a good one. If we can have the rankings on the screen, let's see how the Super Eagles are standing. We have Morocco, who moved to 13th position, occupying the number 1 position in Africa, and then Senegal moved to 20th position in the world, and then number 2 in Africa. Tunisia, number 3, moved to 29th position in the world. Algeria are now 34th in the world, 4th in Africa. Egypt are 5th in Africa, 35th in the world, and Nigeria 40th in the world and ranked 6th. Nigeria is out of the top 5 teams in Africa, and Cameroon closely following Nigeria. They say our neighbors, they are occupying the 7th position, 41st position in the FIFA ranking, that is in the world. Mali are 8th with standing 49th in the world, and then 8th in Africa. Cote d'Ivoire, the AFCON host for next year, 9th understanding and 50th in the FIFA ranking, and Burkina Faso occupy the 10th position in Africa and then 58th in the FIFA ranking, that is in the world. And to tell you the truth, the Super Eagles, with some of the mixed results we'll be getting of late, I believe it has affected our rankings. We can say rankings don't play football, but at times rankings also help you to be to seed you in a better pot, in a better position when any competition is about to happen. And eventually, with this, the Super Eagles are now in the murky waters. They are finding themselves in a position, a very precarious position right now. With this ranking, it has put Nigeria in a very dire situation where right now we might not get the kind of group we deserve in the Nations Cup. We used to get there, but if you look at the standings for Morocco, a team that got to the semi-finals in the FIFA World Cup last time out in Qatar, that is Qatar World Cup 2022. It's a very big achievement for Africa and for Morocco as a country, the first African nations to play in the FIFA World Cup semi-final, and they played in the bronze medal match, but lost to Croatia in that game. But if you look at it, they are fourth in the standings out of the 32 nations that came to the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. They stood 4th position after Argentina, France. Now you have Croatia, and then you have Morocco. That is how they are standing in that order in the last FIFA World Cup that happened in Qatar. And then in Africa right now, they are occupying the 13th position in the world and 1st in Africa. To tell you the truth, I think Morocco deserved that position, and with the way it stands, they'll keep moving and keep moving up the ladder. Eventually, they might maybe end up being ranked the 5th best country in the world, and then they will maintain their number 1 position in Africa if they continue with the way they are doing, both in the males category and then the female football team. And if you look at it all around in all of their sporting activities, I think Morocco has actually improved in every sports sector in that country. Whatever sport event, tournament they go for, you are sure of getting Morocco finishing in a better position, and that is what it is. After they had a 10-year football development plan, they had to send their sons and daughters out of the country to get experts. They were trained, and now we have seen the result. Regaragui, the coach for the national team that took them to the semi-final of the World Cup, is a home-based coach, a homegrown coach, and to tell you the truth, he was coaching a club side in Morocco there before he was called for national duties, and at the end of the day, was able to take the team to the first African country to get to the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. Okay, with that story, we are going to link the next stories. It also concerns ranking, but in a different way, where Nigeria right now, because of that position, sixth in Africa, they have been seeded, they have been put in pot 2, which is not a good one for the Super Eagles. And being in pot 2, they are going to get a tough group. Okay, let's have the pottings, how it is. We'll have the pottings. If If you can see, we have pot 1, pot 2, pot 3, pot 4, and the Super Eagles being in pot 2 has put them in a very, very, according to our balance, in a tight corner. As it is, because if you look at the teams in pot 1, there's a possibility that the Super Eagles is going to play Cote d'Ivoire, Morocco, Senegal, Tunisia, Algeria, Egypt. We might be in the same group. One of these countries or two of them might be in the same group with Nigeria. And if you look at where Nigeria is standing in the FIFA ranking and then in the top 10 in Africa, we are ranked 6th and 40th in the world. And look at it, if we are among the top 5 teams, there's a possibility we might not just get to meet these top teams in Africa. If eventually we are in the same group with Morocco, how do we cope? But I believe in the Super Eagles. I believe in Jose Pizarro, because we have the boys who can actually do it for us. We have the guys who can hold their own any day, anytime, who can actually we have if you are looking what right now, Super Eagles players in Europe, they are firing from all cylinders, and we have one of the hot, if not just one of the, we have the hottest strikers in the world right now. Victor Osimhen, Victor Boniface, we have Gift Orban, we have Terry Murphy firing in France. Everyone or every Super Eagles player right now, I think they are up and running and they are doing well. If you look at most of the African players, I think the Super Eagles players right now are standing tall and holding their heads high. But the situation we have found ourselves right now in pot 2, where there is a possibility we might meet Cote d'Ivoire, that is the host nation, Morocco, Senegal, Tunisia, Algeria, and Egypt. And then in pot 3, we have South Africa, we have Cape Verde, we have Guinea, we have Zambia, we have Equatorial Guinea, and then we have Mauritania. Then in pot 4, we have Guinea-Bissau, we have Mozambique, we have Namibia, we have Angola, we have Gambia, and we have Tanzania. That is how it is as a standing. But the good thing in our pot, we have Cameroon, we have Mali, we have Burkina Faso, we have Ghana, we have DR Congo. It's a good one, but no matter how it is for the Super Eagles, I believe they have what it takes to actually do well when the Nations Cup comes calling in Cote d'Ivoire next year. The Nations Cup was supposed to happen this year, 2023, but because of a logistics reason, that event was moved by a year to next year in Cote d'Ivoire, and now we're still getting some feelers from CAF warning Cote d'Ivoire, that is Ivory Coast, about their stadium. So a lot of work really needs to be put in place for us to have our own mini World Cup. Let me call it mini World Cup in Africa. Just we have the Euros, so also we have the African Nations Cup. And you know, when it is the Nations Cup, we are going back to the normal format where we have 24 teams. The last time out, it was 32 countries. We gave it a trial and it was a good one, but Patrice Motsepe now said no, we should revert to the 24 teams normal that we used to have, and now we are going to be having 24 teams in Cote d'Ivoire, just the way it used to be. But last Nations Cup in Cameroon, we have 32 countries that actually participated in that tournament, but we are going back to the normal 24 teams nations in the Nations Cup, and that is what it is. But for the Super Eagles, they are pot in pot 2, and which is not a good one for us. But if we look at Super Eagles right now, I think we can match any team in Africa and then in the world. If if we put our acts together, a lot of persons have said Jose Pizarro is not the man for the job. He cannot take the Super Eagles to the promised land. He cannot get them anywhere. But it is the responsibility of the NFF and then the technical committee of the NFF to say no. Jose Pizarro, you have done a great job, and as we speak, they have given him a contract renewal, so he will be taking the Super Eagles to the Nations Cup come next year. Maybe after the Nations Cup, we'll see what happens next. We also have the World Cup qualifiers that will be coming up. That is the Canada, USA, Mexico FIFA World Cup 2026 being co-hosted by 3 nations right there, USA, Canada, and Mexico. We'll be hosting the nations, the World Cup, I beg your pardon, in 2026, and the Super Eagles also will be playing the qualifiers, and we'll be hoping this time around will be there, because the last time out in Qatar, the Super Eagles were not in Qatar, virtue of the 1-1 draw we played against the Black Stars of Ghana right here at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, and that because of the away goal rule, the Super Eagles was not in the World Cup. But this time around, all the players have said, okay, we are going to put everything in place. We are going to do all in our power to see that we get to the World Cup in 2026. And that is what we want. We want the Super Eagles to always appear in the World Cup and surpass the achievement of Morocco and become the first country to win the World Cup. If Morocco can get to the semi-final, then the Super Eagles can get to the finals, one step ahead of Morocco, and win it and bring it back. That is 10 steps ahead of them. So let's see, Super Eagles have what it takes. If we want to go back a memory lane, in 1994, the Super Eagles were fantastic. Because of our exploits in the World Cup, we were ranked the 5th best team in the world right there in USA 94. And after then, this has been, well, it has been dwindling for the Super Eagles. But I believe the glory days will one day actually come back for the Super Eagles. Okay, let's leave that story and go straight to Europe, where we have actions in the European, second European competition, that the Europa League, and also the 3rd European club competition, which is the Europa Conference League. But in the Europa League, Victor Boniface, fantastic player. He won the Bundesliga Player of the Month for August, and also won the Rookie Player of the Month for August in Bundesliga, scooping 2 awards and at the same time. And to tell you the truth, this man cannot stop scoring. Xabi Alonso has he praises on Victor Boniface, and he is the man to watch out in Bundesliga right now. He's outshining Hurricane. He's outshining all the strikers in the Bundesliga, and the truth is, he's a Nigerian, a Super Eagles player, getting his first call-up against Satuma and Principe, where he came and also got an assist in that game, where Nigeria defeated Satuma and Principe 6-0 right there at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. So, which is a good one for Victor Boniface. Like I said earlier on, that we have what it takes to win the World Cup, to win the Africa Cup of Nations, and for Jose Pizarro, it's going to be a lot of headache for him selecting strikers, because you have Victor Osimhen, you have Victor Boniface, you have Gift Orban, you a lot of strikers. You have every one of them in Europe doing well. Kelechi Iheanacho, Samuel Chukwueze, every of our striker right now, I think they are firing from all cylinders. And for Victor Boniface, it was a fantastic outing for him last night in the Europa League, getting a goal and also getting an assist in that. After getting a goal, scoring over the weekend, now he didn't stop there. He also scored within the week. That was last night in the Europa League. Good one for Victor Boniface, and for Xabi Alonso, getting a 4-0 bashing of Haken. That is the name of the team, and he scored and got a brace. You know what it means. That is already with that beautiful performance from Victor Boniface. You know he's in pole position for the MVP, that is the Man of the Match award. So it's a good one for Victor Boniface and Bayer Leverkusen. They were the finalists 2 seasons ago, right there against Rangers, where we also had the Nigerian, that is Joe Aribo. They actually won it. Okay, let's look at some results in the Europa League. There were matches also outside the Bayer Leverkusen game. We have matches that went down in the Europa League. Let's have the result quickly on the screen. We have Olympiacos against SC Freiburg 3-2 it ended in favor of Freiburg right there in Greece. We have West Ham United defeated Baka Topola 3-1. It happened at the London Stadium. We have Ajax and Marseille ended in on a draw score draw, that is 3-3. Brighton and Hove Albion, after beating Manchester United over the weekend, they lost at their stadium 3-2 against AEK Athens of Greece. And then we have Rangers pipped Real Betis of Spain 1-0, Sparta Prague 3, Aris Limassol of Cyprus 2, Atlanta 2, Rakow Seskowa 0. We have SK Stormgrass 1, Sporting Lisbon 2, Lax 1, Liverpool 3. Liverpool had to come back from that game. They were pegged back before the rally round, and they won that game 3-1. Union St. Gillois 1, Toulouse 1, a team from France, and then the Belgian team. Then we have Sheriff Tiraspol 1, Roma cannot stop scoring also. Lukaku also getting a goal after he got a goal in the 7-0 demolition of Empoli over the weekend. Then Bayer Leverkusen, like I said, 4-0 against BK Haken. That was the result for the Europa League. And the beautiful thing is that we have Nigerians doing well in all of these competitions in the Champions League. We saw Victor Osimhen winning Man of the Match award against Sporting Braga in the Champions League, where they left it like 2-0 it ended. He had an assist in that game, and it was a handful for the defense, for the opponents. And good one for Victor Osimhen, good one for Victor Boniface. Victor, both of them doing well in European competition in the course of the week. So we also have matches that went down in the Conference League. There were matches that went down in the Conference League. That is the third-tier club competition in Europe. Okay, we have some matches on your screen right now. We have Slovan Bratislava 2, KI Klasvik 1. We have Maccabi Tel Aviv 3, and then Breidablik 2. We have Zoya Lusank 1, KAA Gent 1. That is the team of Victor, that is Gift Orban. We have Dynamo Zagreb 5, FC Astana 1. We have Victoria Pleasant 1, Balkani 0. We have Club Brugge of Belgium 1, Besiktas of Turkey 1. We have Lugano 0, Bodo Glimt of Norway 0. That was how it stand the result of the Europa Conference League. You know, we have another club competition in Europe that was created last season to accommodate where they want to see how they can accommodate every other club that cannot play in the Champions League. If you cannot play in the Champions League, you play in the Europa League. If you cannot play in the Europa League, you play in the Conference League. And that is the motive behind it when this competition was actually created. And West Ham actually lifted that trophy last season. And the virtue of lifting the Europa Conference League, they got automatic qualification to play in Europa, and where they have started well in the Europa League as it stands. They also won their match right there at the London Stadium, 3 in favor of them against the opposition team. So good one for all of these clubs that actually got wins in match they won from the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. Like I said, it's a good one that we have Nigerians participating in one of these European club competitions, and not just participating but leaving their own mark on the pitch and also doing well for their various club sides. Okay, let's leave that and go straight and still remain in Europe. We have some fixtures that will be coming up in the leagues tonight. We have competition. We have fixtures in the Italian Serie A. We have in the Bundesliga, and then we have in Ligue 1. We don't have any in the English Premier League for today, but in La Liga we have Alaves against Athletic Bilbao, one fixture in La Liga. Then in the German Bundesliga also we have one fixture. We have VfB Stuttgart against Darmstadt, a team that just got newly promoted to the Bundesliga. We have Salernitana in the Italian Serie A against Frosinone, another newly promoted team in the Italian Serie A. Then we have Lecce against Genoa. Lecce is doing well right now. And then in the Ligue 1 we have Monaco against Nice, and we are still going to be seeing Terry Muffin doing what he knows how to do for Nice against Monaco after they upset PSG over the weekend, and his goal celebration has been causing an uproar in the French in French capital, that is Paris. But you know what it is, when you score goal, you know how elated you will be as a player. That is what it is for Terry Murphy. But if you look at all of these fixtures, Alaves against Athletic Bilbao, VfB Stuttgart against Darmstadt, Salernitana against Frosinone, Lecce against Genoa, and Monaco against Nice. And that is how it is for the fixtures. Just go out there and enjoy any of those fixtures in the Italian Serie A, Bundesliga, and Ligue 1. But for the EPL, there's no fixtures for today. All fixtures will be on Saturday. Okay, before we go on the show, quickly, let's take this transfer story. It concerns in Nigeria, and it's a good one. That is our own Super Eagles invitee. Now they are going to be rivaling Tottenham for Gift Urban. Tottenham has been chasing Gift Urban. That deal was almost done during the transfer window, but because of some reasons, that deal actually collapsed. But now Barcelona has also entered into the race for this hot striker who is firing from all cylinder. Okay, that is where we leave it on 360 Sports. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.